discuss personnel matters. If everyone would please rise for the pledge. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Cesari, would you please read the mission statement?
Thank you, Mr. Burdick. The Homer Center School District is a caring district where everybody is somebody. Through our partnerships with the family and community, we are committed to a diverse educational program that develops and prepares students for the challenges of our rapidly changing world.
Thank you. Mrs. Collins, would you please call the roll?
Mrs. Ayers.
Here.
Mr. Gerald Burdick.
Here.
Mr. Michael Burdick.
Here.
Mr. Caruso.
Here.
Dr. Delafura.
Here.
Mr. Fabian.
Here.
Dr. Pontani Palmer. Mr. Shank. And Mrs. Smith.
All right, so we have a quorum. There's no Wildcat recognition for this month since it's currently August, and we will jump ahead to Mrs. Genscher.
So I did ask Mrs. Genscher to come and talk about the changes that we are making, or just to kind of keep you informed of the policy and procedures that we have for Chromebooks in our elementary school. As you know, there are quite a few organizations out there and concerned parents talking about device usage and what does that look like in the school district. And I had tasked Mrs. Genscher with getting a committee of teachers together over the summer, meet with a concerned parent that we have, and they have done an excellent job putting together expectations for our elementary school, and she's going to share some of those with you today. And we will certainly get those out to you so that you have those in hard copy form as well.
So just a couple of things. We managed to meet with all of our teachers. They completed their survey and was actually really pleasantly surprised with some of the results. We were not overusing them. We did kind of talk internally with our group when we met that teachers kind of took that based on how they were, but the majority of their classes are still being taught as hardcore classes, not on the computer here. Very minor issues with misuse, more of a distraction. So a lot of times we were using them not so much at recess, because when I eventually share the slides with you guys, you won't see a whole lot of recess use, a little bit of recess use, but more of when you're done with something, you can do this program. That was a lot of what we were finding. YouTube had been a concern. YouTube, we only use, the majority of the use is instructional purposes. You're either introducing or you're showing something for them to revisit, more of an engagement opening strategy, which was really good. We had a really great discussion. I thought when we went in, when we were talking about ways that we can minimize how we were using it, I thought maybe that there would be a little bit of kickback from my teachers. Zero kickback. They were actually in favor because they're seeing some of the issues of socializing, and we have talked about it at some of our TAPS meetings and things, but we didn't have a solid plan. So even when I met with a parent who had concerns, it was very complimentary to her because it is something we had been having conversations. So when we sat down and came up with a list, and I'll be presenting it to my teachers on Wednesday, we don't use devices during recess at any time. We don't send our devices home during the school year anyhow because of damage, so that was an elimination piece. We found out, because we had our tech guys in with us, using our LineWise program, we can lock kids into what they're seeing. So I can say that you only have 2 or 3 tabs open and this is what I want. When I want to use YouTube, I can put it in that tab and you can't, that is the only piece that you have. So a lot of lockdowns on those pieces. Even with Google searching, you know how when you type in Google, it gives you suggestions of all the things in the world you might want, and there are things that maybe we don't want our kids seeing. Those no longer exist anymore. And actually some of those would get our kids slightly in trouble because they click on it thinking it was what they were trying to type, especially my kids who can't spell very well. So we get lots of really interesting red flags. So those are things that are no longer an option for them. We've never had like any of the AI available to our elementary kids, so that was never an issue either. So it was a very good conversation. I hate to say we're bringing it back old school this year. We had already, it's funny because we'd already planned a neon theme for our roar, so we went all the way back to 80s, and we're going probably 70s, 80s because we're bringing back board games and puzzles. Like some of my teachers have already said, hey, can I have a large table that we can have puzzles at for recess? Because sometimes kids were using them in the upper grades for that, but no, we're ready for it. It was a great conversation. I had representation from multiple, like my intermediate and my primary. We had tech people there. It was positive, where I thought might get a little bit of kickback, and there was none.
So some of the things that we did immediately employ, there's going to be no use at recess. That has kind of come down from the state as well. We've increased recess to the 30-minute time block. We have limited what students can see on that YouTube channel. Sometimes you got suggestions from there as well. And of course that Google search, we have locked that down as well. High school, we have a little bit different plan and policy, and Mr. Ray can share that for us in the future. But we're at a crossroads now because we have to teach students these things. The AI revolution is here, whether you want it to be or not. If we don't begin to introduce our students to some of these different concepts, ideas, skills, competencies, they're going to be behind. So we have to find a way, in particular in our secondary school, on how to begin to introduce some of those things. And I've shared with Mr. Rainey and his team several times a lot of things that we gave kids. I have said many times, we gave kids the second most powerful weapon ever created. Next to a nuclear bomb was the cell phone. Because we gave it to them, and we gave them no rules, and we let them take them into their bedrooms, into the bathroom, into school buses, whatever we wanted to do, and we gave them no rules. And we really let that get away from us. And we are seeing the fruits of that now with the challenges that we face in social media, the divisions that we have in social media, the litigation that we have in social media. So we can't allow that to happen with AI. We need to teach them what an AI is, how AI can be used effectively, what are biases in an AI system. We need to try to get ahead of that curve. And I personally think education is really going to change here in the next 10 years. I think you are going to see some incredible things happen. Some that are going to be positive and some that are going to be negative on the way we instruct and teach kids here. I've been messing around with a couple different programs. One's called Kira, Conmigo, which I'm going to be sharing with our teachers here on our in-service day. These are some very, very powerful programs that are going to change the way we do business. So I hear those parents that want those socialization skills and want to see kids talking and manipulating things and learning those things that are important, but there is a balance there. And the Chromebook is an important piece to that child's education. We have some software programs that can help that student improve. We need that piece. That is no different than a textbook. Just if we were issuing you a reading textbook or a social studies textbook, we now issue a Chromebook, and that is the capability of doing those things. So that is an important piece of what we're doing, and we need our families and our students to understand that Chromebook is the gateway to helping them become better students. It's not the end-all be-all. Certainly want to develop those other skills, but the Chromebook is an important piece, or that technology device. I don't want to speak Chromebook in particular. So do you have any questions for Mrs. Getcher? Okay, I appreciate that. Mrs. Getcher, I appreciate the great work over the summer, and thank you for your time speaking. And I know I'm on Facebook, and you guys are going to love this for sure. But all 4 administrators reached out to me when I typed in floor stripper, and LineWise popped up with the word stripper. And said, hey, we got a problem here. All 4 administrators reached out to me and said, what are you looking up? Here was me and our facilities director looking up floor stripper. We were trying to find a new floor stripper. So LineWise caught that, and all 4 of them got a red flag and sent me an email and said, hey boss, what are you doing? That's the way that works. Thank you, Mrs. Gentry. You're welcome to go.
I'll wait until Mr. Penrose.
Okay,
finishes.
great. We'll turn it over to Mr. Penrose if you could. Ready. Up to you, bud.
Okay, so up for public comment is Pastor Bob Penrose.
Well, good evening. It is an honor to be here as an educator for 31 years. I always like being on the good side of the school board, so we're going to try to keep it that way. I'm here to just talk to you a little bit about the Bible to School program that we have been working with your principal on, and she has been fantastic to work with. I got to say, it's been a joy to communicate with her and to talk with her over this process. Bible to School takes advantage of the 1 hour a week that we are allowed to do religious training for students. And what we are looking at doing is working with the 3rd grade class. We're going to take them over to the church, use that 1 hour time period, and within that 1 hour time period is the travel over and back, and work with them in terms of some of the things that you're actually talking about, socialization, and some of these issues that we have about disrespect with each other and not respecting who people are. That's what Scripture is trying to teach them about, is that we are all valuable and we all have a place. And so we're going to be working with them for that time period, and hopefully the information that you got showed you how it helps with discipline issues in the classroom. It helps with students feeling better about themselves and having more self-respect as well as self-confidence in what they do. And we have not just the Methodist Church. We have the Christian Alliance Church that's also going to partner with us with that, as well as the Catholic Church and Hope Chapel. So it's kind of, I'm just here as the speaker, but it's really a community effort to bring this program in, and we just happen to have the facilities to be able to make it work. I'm willing to answer any questions you folks have, but I do want to tell you up front, there is no cost to the district for any of this. We have grant money, we have donations to help us cover transportation costs. We have all of the resources that we're going to need to make this program work, so there's no cost to the district. It's just working with Principal Gonsher and your Director of Transportation to get the kids over and back on, I think we were planning on Wednesdays. Yeah, Wednesday. And so when they leave here, the hour starts, and we'll have them back before the hour ends.
And that, I just want to throw in, that hour is not during an instructional hour, it is during their
Correct.
specials and their lunch time. So they will take their lunches with them.
Yes.
And participation is voluntary, correct?
It's completely voluntary, yes.
What you just said a while ago was a key question of mine, and I believe I'm glad with, or happy with what I heard. My concern was that all parts of the local ministerium have the opportunity to participate and to make sure that what's being presented is acceptable
Yes.
in total.
Yes.
And not targeted in one way or another.
No.
And so that is a truth that I would want that to be sure that we maintain that going forward.
I got to tell you, one of the blessings of this community is the ministerium and the relationship that we have with each other. And so when I actually talked to them first before even approaching the school district about it, to work with them to make sure we were all on the same page, and we were all, so we have volunteers from all the churches that are willing to be involved with this. So
Great.
it's a community effort.
The objectives are good. We need better grounding.
I will agree with you on that one.
Pastor, certainly appreciate you coming in and sharing that. I know the board had some questions just as such.
Yep.
We're excited to have that opportunity, and we will make sure we get it done.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We are so looking forward to partnering with you and helping our children move forward. So thank you guys
for
so
your
much.
time.
Thank you. I guess we're out.
Turchi here, who's the Executive Director of Aaron IU 28.
Good evening. Thanks very much for having me here. It's a pleasure to be here. Many of you I've met before, I've known from whether here or different circumstances. It's a pleasure to be able to have this opportunity to get around and to see all the school boards that we work with in the IU. Great opportunity to take a little peek into the community, and to be honest, Homer Center is one that I'm familiar with because my wife is a guidance counselor here for a long time, and I've got to know many of the folks along the way, and I have to congratulate you because you have an awesome district here. You have great kids, you have a great staff, a team that works together, and at the IU, we work really well and really closely with Homer Center. Mr. Cesari is a big participant in what we're doing. Obviously, Mr. Burdick, in addition to being president here, is also president at the intermediate board. And through a lot of our programs, I gave a handout so that you can all take a look at it at your leisure. I wasn't going to read to you or anything, but just to give some more idea of what the IU does, because I know everyone hears of Aaron Intermediate Unit, and we do so many things. I'll be honest, I was in K-12 for 29 years at Apollo Ridge before that, and I thought I knew everything, and then I come up to Aaron, and there's like so many more things, with adult education, homelessness, and just all the things that go along with it. So it's more than just special education and some of the things that you see, even though it's a big part of what we do here at Homer Center. We appreciate the collaboration because we do have those special needs classrooms here. We work together on transportation. Your folks are very involved. I think one of the strengths of the job alike means as well. Special education, school safety, the principal groups, obviously our superintendent group. So that's a big part of it. So we really enjoy being involved, and I will say too, we've had a lot of open and very good conversations because we're an educational service agency, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to support and to find ways to make life better for districts if we can. We know the economic climate that's out there now. We know the need for advocacy in our schools, and we strive to make that happen as best as we can. Just briefly, I wanted to mention, a couple of the things that we do have going on, and one big thing is we had an ARC Power grant that we received for the Appalachian Regional Commission, where we got a $100,000 planning grant, and what we're doing is taking a look, and a lot of it's based on the fact that our region, Indiana County, and obviously right here in your backyard, we're undergoing transformation with a power plan, an opportunity for jobs and for growth. I mean, we've been focusing on rural health for a long time. We're looking to see is what's happening with our community, how are things changing and growing, and what can we do to make sure our students are ready to be integral parts of the community. And we all know we have great kids in this region. How do we take those skills, and how do we, kind of to the point you were making before, there's new skills, there's different skills, how do we make sure that they're prepared for employment? So we're excited about that. Mr. Cesari is actually an integral part with our steering committee, and part of what we've done, we've had some of our folks go to a national conference through the IU. We're going to be doing some visits. We're going to talk about who all's going. We're going to look at some regions in Kentucky, in Ohio that are similar to ours, to look to see, hey, what's changed in your community? What have you done in your schools? What have you done healthcare? What have you done in service industries? What have you done with the Chamber of Commerce? Look at all these aspects so we can work together and grow as a district, or as a region, I should say. So we're excited about that piece. Obviously, professional development's a big piece of what we do as well. We work with a lot of your staff, but I guess at the end of the day, the message is always the same: is that we're here for you. My job, one of the things that attracted me to this job was, as much as I love my work at Apollo Ridge for 29 years, and that's always be home. This whole region is important to me, and I know how important it is to all of you for your work here. What can we do to work together and make each other better? And Homer Center has a great tradition, and what can we do to keep working and help that grow? I gotta give a compliment as well, because I think our Indiana County schools, we get to our SAC meetings and so forth, we work really well together, and pair that in with the Armstrong as well from both sides, looking at issues like mental health, like we said, all those things. We have a band of people who really care and want to work together. So I'm happy to do what I can to help facilitate that. If anybody has any questions, not just tonight or at any point, please let me know. But again, we're going to keep striving to serve you. So does anybody have any questions about what we do or what's going on currently?
I will be complimentary of Dr. Turchi. Obviously came in after Dr. Madsen, but I will echo the collaboration amongst districts in Indiana County is second to none. And a lot of that is driven by, at the time, Dr. Madsen and now Dr. Kirchie. He makes very good use of our time. When we get together as superintendents, we have a very clear plan. We know what we're discussing. He does a really good job of bringing in outside agencies, maximizing our time so that we all don't have to meet with a different group. So we'll get the county commissioners there. We'll be able to meet with them collectively as a group. And we're all singing that same tune. We'll get representatives from the Pennsylvania Department of Education, Dr. Rowe, Dr. Lena, they'll come in. We're all sitting at the table. You know, we are hearing the same thing from all of us. It's not, well, I'm gonna go over and talk to Ralph one day and then go talk to Rick the next or Rob the next. It's, here's a collaboration. This team, this region is working together for the betterment of all the schools. And that's due to his leadership there at the IE.
And I know this isn't traditionally an area that you would take up, but when you talk about how we work collaboratively and at times bring in Department of Education people, is the topic of trying to attain a more level funding playing field something that you could collectively take up? You're well aware of the discrepancies locally, I assume, and what's troubling me the most and disappointing me the most is this adequacy formula that's supposed to be improving the situation for districts like ours, and yet if I understand it properly, and please correct me if I don't, they're computing the adequacy gap based on what you're spending versus what you should be spending, an average of $14,700 and some dollars per student. Well, a district with all sorts of local tax-based means could be choosing to spend less than they can or should and be qualifying for the adequacy payment. To me, they should be using one of the base figures should be your equalized millage tax effort. And what's that producing compared to the $14,750? And that's your adequacy gap. You know,
There is a tax equity supplement there, but unfortunately that's at the 90% level. We're not.
I know
We're
that,
not there.
but I don't even like the way the adequacy gap is being computed because it's not recognizing your tax base.
Well, we talked about that when you put $50,000 in for every district into adequacy, that minimizes that adequacy gap as well too.
And I know it's tough because you have local winners and losers as it now stands, but so that's a tough tightrope. But if we're truly standing up for each other, we should all have relatively the same means at the same tax rates within a reasonable margin.
I think your point too, and I know, one of our recent discussions as we do move forward, we talked about the fact that we do, and we do this anyway, but again, as we approach the new season, which comes around very quickly for budget season, to make sure we are coordinated in our message, make sure we have the talking points together. And I think over the past years, we've done that. We're gonna continue to strengthen that. And obviously that's been a topic that's been there, and something that we've seen impact us in our local region, because those dollars aren't coming in where they may be in other districts, and certainly we have the need, so we have to take a strong look at that. I know, again, cyber charter has been a constant issue that's there, and we haven't abandoned that. We're continuing to push on that because we know reforms have to be made, and we're appreciative of what steps have been taken, but we know we're not done yet. I'll be honest, to me, one of the biggest, probably the biggest area is special education funding. The continual shortfall that we see, and the increases, even though you see big numbers advertised there, when you look at it, once you spread it out across the districts, look at what we're actually spending and the increases, I mean, it's a drop in the bucket, and something has to give, because these are areas I really think, and I'm sorry, I'm trying not to get on my soapbox too much here, but I really think districts do a good job of controlling what you can control. Special education is something that is mandated. We have students who have the percentages in our districts that are increasing with valid, very legitimate needs, and those services cost dollars, and they're mandated for us to receive them, whether from the state or federal government, and we're just not seeing them. And to me, that's the biggest concern is anything that we have, and we're going to keep pushing on all of those things, as you mentioned, the formula, the cyber, special education. It's just critical, you know, I think our schools are doing well. We need the support to continue making it happen though.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you, Dr. Kirchie.
All right, thank you, Dr. Kirchie, and we'll move on to reports, and we'll start with Homer Center School Board Committee, and we have buildings and grounds.
We did not meet this month. What will be discussed will be presented here this evening at this meeting. Other than what you can easily see, some of the work that took place over the summer, including very visibly the paving work and the painting of the doors
Yeah, I've got
outside of
to
the
give you
high
a brief.
school.
We've done the paving. We're almost complete with the stairwell. Looks really good. We need the final top coat on there and some caps on the columns. Turned out really nice. Stairwell turned out. The weather has just been crushing us. Doors have been painted up at the school. There was another project we had that was moving along too. It's slipping my mind right now, but we're ready. We're in good shape. The humidity has caught up with us a little bit, and we're re-cleaning classrooms, making sure we're disinfecting things, making sure we have clean areas for our students, our staff. Staff comes back on Monday, students come back on Thursday. Compliments to the technology department for getting all of our technology up and running and ready to go, and certainly compliments to our custodial department for the work that they have done here this summer as well. And I'd be remiss if I didn't thank our secretaries and administration. Really good summer of work. Got a lot of things accomplished this summer, and we're ready to go.
Policy Committee, we met earlier in the month, mostly boilerplate policies from PSBA, except for our superintendent hiring policy that we want to put into place. Everybody was in agreement that we should lengthen the amount of time when a final contract or a proposed final contract is sent out to board members for their review. Everybody was fine with that. Everybody was fine with multiple board members being part of the quote-unquote negotiations team with the superintendent. Correspondence, we need to include at least 2 board members. I'd be fine personally with all 9 receiving that information. And just like all other employees we have here, any future superintendent would have to undergo drug testing. And those are the main highlights of the things we talked about there. Okay, we can move on to outside boards, and we have ARNIU 28, which just met 2 days ago. Dr. Kirchie touched on this, that there's this ARC Power grant, and some of the administrators are going out to San Antonio, Texas for the National Association of Workforce Development Professionals Youth Symposium. ARN already has held its opening meeting with its employees because that has to be done prior to any school district opening. Well, Paul Ridge opened yesterday, so they have a rather early start to their school year, so all the ARN employees got together for a day at Indiana Junior High School. You might have mentioned, or you might remember that I'd mentioned before that we'd be getting some money returned to us in transportation costs from the years 2021 through 2025. That across the entire IU, the entire 11 school districts, is $547,000. Then finally, we did a number of hirings, including a special ed teacher and special ed paraprofessionals to go out to the various schools and be ready for the school year.
One of them is coming here.
Para or teacher?
Teacher.
Is that Mrs. Elliott?
No, that's fair.
Oh, para.
That's fair.
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, because I've worked with some people in Indiana, so, okay, great. So that's the ARN report. Next we have Parks and Rec. Met a couple Mondays ago. Hired a new individual to replace longtime maintenance supervisor, Al Parado, and his name is Martin Adamson. And I think that's the main thing that we really talked about there. Anything I'm missing?
Just kind of worked on some safety things at the pool.
Yeah. Okay. Next we have ICTC. Mrs. Smith is not here. Mr. Cesari, if you have anything.
Yeah, sure. Mr. Worthington has taken over the helm of ICTC. He is now the director. Darren Johnston remains the superintendent of record. ICTC hired Mr. Scott Peterson, an administrator from Marion Center, as their new principal. So he has jumped into that role beginning in July. They have some employees that have moved on. They are making some hires coming up. We are still working through the masonry project, looking to build that masonry add-on. And they are in the middle of a renovation. As you may recall, 2 years ago, they got the school facilities improvement grant. They're doing some electrical upgrades, some HVAC upgrades, so they had some things torn apart there, and putting those things back together. The JOC will be meeting next week up at ICTC Tuesday. Typically, we have an executive session at 11:30, and we open the meeting typically around 12.
Thank you, Mr. Cesari. We have no reports from administrators or either of the unions, so we can move on to consent items from the August 6th planning meeting. Does anybody wish to have anything removed from consent items? Hearing none, is there a motion for the consent items?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Ayers, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Dr. Delafiero. There's no discussion. Mrs. Collins, if you'd please pull the board.
Mrs. Ayers,
Yes.
Mr. Gerald Burdick,
Yes.
Mr. Caruso,
Yes.
Dr. Delafiero,
Yes.
Mr. Fabian,
Yes.
and Mr. Michael Burdick.
Yes, that motion carries. Next, we have new business since the planning meeting. This has been sent out to you twice, everything in red.
There's a couple red bold that came to you before the 24-hour deadline. You'll see those things in there, nothing of really any significance. I will point to you 8A8. The DEP has reached out to us and asked to use our auditorium during the week of October 5th for a public meeting hearing related to the development down at the former power plant and redevelopment. So we are going to extend to them without rent the opportunity to use the facility. We will be charging them for security. So we will be bringing 2 security officers on that day. Not really sure how that meeting could play out.
And do we have times?
Nothing official,
Okay.
we'll let you know. They haven't said anything yet. DTA asking for several use of facilities. With regret, Mr. Buchanan is giving up indoor percussion. He's done a nice job for us the last couple of years, but he has moved from the area and was doing quite a bit of traveling and cannot continue to do that. And then we have some drivers list. I did attend the bus drivers meeting today. Really good meeting. Smith is going to come in September. They have a new program called Bus Boss. It is pretty slick. We have put an extra monitor on Aaron's desk. We can monitor all of our buses now in real time, see exactly where they're at. We can click on a bus and see exactly what students are on that bus, who did not get on that bus. It will track that student's attendance for the whole year. So it's a pretty slick system, and they just wanted to come and share it with you here in September.
Was that done through like an active, as the bus driver has to say yes or no?
They have to
Yep.
click on each of the student as they get on.
At the bus stop, so at that stop, those students populate right on their screen.
It's not some AI monitor or something that's seeing that they got on, facial
No,
recognition?
no, it's GPS for the, like the Waze or the Google Maps. And once you get to that stop, then it pops up the students that are getting on that bus at that particular time. It's gonna help me out, because if I gotta drive the bus, now the route is right there and it's easy to see. And it literally, you stop here and it tells you, make a left here, bus stop approaching. And it's very, very various places.
It really requires the drivers to know their students though, doesn't it?
Not necessarily, because it's tied to our student information system, limited information like name, address, parents, but their image can also be on that tablet. So if this student walks in, oh, that looks just like that student. And the bus drivers do know their students,
Yes, our
but
drivers.
I'm thinking in terms of a substitute driver that maybe doesn't often do that route, and
for sure.
it's one thing if you have a rural route and you know what house you're stopping at, but when it's an in-town route and you have a number of kids getting on at the same time, I just wondered how that's supposed to work.
We had a real good conversation today about traffic too, and what is gonna be transpiring here. We know that there's gonna be as many as 3,000 people working up at the plant here within the next year. We have coordinated with Kiewit start times and end times. They know when our buses are. They're gonna know where our buses are on the road. They are willing to work with Smith Bus and put up school bus stop signs ahead all along the route. They just need that information, and Smith is gonna provide that to them. They're gonna put up some additional signs. And really wanna thank Kiewit. We have a student that is gonna be being picked up just short of Power Plant Road, and there's nowhere for our bus to turn around. Kiewit is going to come down and build a bus turnaround for us at the base of Power Plant Road here in the very near future. So we'll be able to pick up that student. The bus will be able to cross over the bridge that's currently right there, make an immediate turnaround in a paved area, and make its way back. And they did talk about maintaining that area for us as well.
All right, so we do need a motion for new business. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Mr. Burdick. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Faven. Discussion. Mrs. Collins, if you please poll the board.
Mrs. Ayers,
Yes.
Mr. Faven,
Yes.
Mr. Gerald Burdick,
Yes.
Dr. Delafiera,
Yes.
Mr. Caruso,
Yes.
and Mr. Michael Burdick.
Yes, so that motion carries. Item 9, information sharing.
I am pleased to share with you that the state had asked school districts to test water. It was not mandated or required, and it said that if you did not test your water, that you had to speak about it publicly at a public meeting. I am speaking about it publicly at a public meeting to let you know we had it tested, and we passed with flying colors as far as lead. We have definitely met the threshold. We are non-traceable is basically what came back to us in our water system here from the fountains that we tested. So we're happy to report that we had non-traceable lead in our water system. Other information, again, we met with Smith today. As you know, Smith has downsized a little bit with a couple of their districts not renewing. But that has kind of been a positive to us because we have a number of bus drivers available now. But we've also updated our fleet. Those buses that they had that were newer have now been able to be put into our fleet, which helps us with our reimbursement from the state when we're seeking transportation reimbursement. So our fleet will be less than 4 years old, which is pretty darn impressive here at the district. We do have a couple propane buses, and we are working with the River Valley School District. We did not want to put in our own propane tank, and they put in their own propane tank. So we now have one tank down there, and we have a contract with the company to fill it. It is metered. They know exactly which bus is getting how much propane and what to bill each individual district. So we're happy to report working with our neighbors at River Valley to do that.
One thing caught my attention just reading up on the story of the change in bus contractor in the district to the north, that one of the things they were saying about the new contractor was that they were willing to put the name of the school district on the buses. As I recall, we had been sort of advised here that it came up here, the idea, is there a PR value, you know, or for people to know those are our buses, and there wasn't a whole lot of interest in that. Is that still our thinking? It doesn't seem like it's that hard, you know, to do, but.
It is my thinking. I mean, that is their transportation company, and get the phone calls. You know, when things don't necessarily go wrong, right, they get the phone calls, and they do a very good job of handling it.
I do think there is a more subtle way of identifying if you're curious on the road. Usually the bus numbers are preceded with a B or an H, you know, H in our case, of course, for us, but is that still the case, do you know?
It is, our buses are numbered H 1 through 8 or 9.
Okay.
Next, we have board member comments and discussion, and we can start with Dr. Delafiera.
Yeah, just really looking forward to seeing everyone back on campus next week. I hope admin, teachers, staff have a good first couple days. Can't believe summer's over already, but best of luck.
Thank you. Mr. Caruso.
No comment.
Mrs. Ayers.
I want to wish everybody a wonderful and safe school year, and I also want to give a shout out to the elementary PTA, because they have been doing a phenomenal job getting out those dates, upcoming dates to our families, and just building some programs, the clothing. So if anybody wants to donate clothing, they're doing a great job with that. And then also just the kits that, you know, are going into the classrooms for the teachers, for the kids. So wonderful group of people. So.
Thank you. Mr. Fabian.
No comment this evening.
Mr. Burdick.
The beat goes on, doesn't it? Well, it's usually faster than we wish. But here we are again, launching another one. We'll soon be saying how fast it's going.
Christmas.
But best wishes for a great Wildcat year.
And I'll wrap up by saying thank you to our administration, maintenance, custodians, and secretaries for their work all summer. People that assume that summer you're just kind of messing around, that is not at all the case. There's a lot of work involved, and I want to thank everybody for getting ready for the school year and getting us off to a good start next week. That's all I have to say. Is there a motion for adjournment?
I'll make the motion.
Motion made by Mrs. Ayers. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Mr. Fabian. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting